else is writing all the numbers down, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but it's cool.
Welcome, race fans. Watermelons and Woodchips, presented by Central Iowa Diesel Performance, episode 22. Got a little different setup here with Josh and Jonathan, and we got some guests in the house. Got a little round table thing going on here, but Hank Nobling and Sara and Rod Robbins, that kind of the backbone of the Boone Speedway here with
the
us.
thing that makes this thing go around.
That's right.
And a lot of people see these people, right? But at the same time, like during race night, there's a lot of things happening around that place, and they're the ones doing it.
Well, we really only see Sara one time a night. We hear her, but we don't necessarily see her. We see Rod and Hank ripping up the John Deeres around the racetrack or on their four-wheelers or getting hot dogs and stuff. But, it's kind of it's a great the invisible backbone of the Boone Speedway. It's a great way to put that here. We're going to get into a lot of cool stuff today.
We are. And speaking of a lot of cool stuff, how's your hand doing?
yeah, we gotta address that.
30 seconds into this thing, and you guys had to bring it up.
Well, I mean, we kind of have to.
It's kind of visible.
I got the old MJ over here, courtesy of the Boone County Hospital. Actually, my sister dressed this one up today, but had a little explosion out in the Big L yesterday. Let's just say if you're a 16-year-old kid and you don't – I called my dad and I told him I was sorry. Realized all the times that I done dumb shit or just looked right at him like I was not comprehending what he was saying. But do not throw a bottle of Axe or the little can of perfume in a bag that you're going to burn. Because it will explode. And it's about an 8-foot explosion, and I hit the ground like a bad hot dog and ran around in a panic because I didn't know what was going on, and I looked at my hand, and it basically looked like somebody took a flat iron and just kind of peeled all my skin back over there, and it was pretty scary. But
we saw a little video. We're not going to get HIPAA involved, but I think we might have Garrett piece that in just so they can show them how bad it looks. Because when you look at it now, it's like, oh, you just got a bandage on it. But when you see the video of the blisters, it's pretty bad.
I actually, I'm welder, fabricator for a long time and had a lot of hot things drop on me. But yesterday, like you can see the line where my sweatshirt was. I've never had blisters that big, but didn't really hurt yesterday. Today it's with the fluid and everything, and then my sister not being very ginger about spreading the cream on there. It's a little tender.
There wasn't any payback from like when you guys were younger going on there, was
Well, that's what Brock McCumber come over to the shop. He's doing his little sponsor, trying to round up some sponsors, and he's got this cool little pamphlet, and Brittany, his mom, was there, and I'm like, just because she's here doesn't mean I won't kick your ass like I used to. But we're all patched up. We got to go to the wound clinic a couple times a day and get her cleaned up and do some physical therapy. Apparently there's a lot of nerves in your hands. And
a little bit.
I don't know if any of you have ever tried to, do anything with not your dominant hand, but taking a shit's not even easy. It's pretty hard. It's a pretty tall task.
The old dirt snakes, they're
right. I might buy a bidet by the time this is over. Just
Oh man.
And also, Nate Ober and Peyton, they're real glad you didn't mess your face up because you're going to be a little busy next week down on some camera shots down in Florida.
I'm glad I didn't mess my face up. I'm not even kidding you. I don't know if you've ever been flashbanged. I haven't until yesterday. But just the feeling of that, the explosion, and I think it traumatized my daughter a little bit. And my kid's usually red, but I think he's still white because I think that he thought, kind of like the whole jet ski thing, that he killed me or hurt me really bad.
Yeah.
That's like 2 times in the last 6 weeks.
Right.
The Bobcat's down 7 lives.
I was going to say. Damn.
Shit.
How many lives does a Bobcat get?
Needless to say, he's been restricted to the den for a couple of weeks on yesterday's occasion.
Take away the keys to the Ranger.
It parked. Yep.
Poor Ivan.
You had to bring that up, too.
Well, I mean, oil changes and oil in general. general are very important for
Just because the light's blinking doesn't mean when you rev it up it goes away. That doesn't mean leave it alone. Okay? You basically got a rod knocking down S-dime there.
I think we've all been there, I would imagine, at some point in time that, you got to do what you got to do.
That's why I called my dad, because I did a lot of that dumb shit when I was growing up. And basically the response that I got from him and Steph were just a little bit of chuckling and what happened. So I think my dad appreciates all those stories just because of how I was growing up.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, well, it's payback a little bit probably, I'm sure. So.
I will. Yes, I'll take it, because Ivan's actually pretty good. I was kind of a little shit.
I had zero to do with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
I'm pleading the fifth on any of those stories. But we're glad that you survived the jet ski crash, and you got a little healing to do on the hand. But other than that, we're in tip-top shape.
I'm basically going to be wearing the MJ glove for about 3 weeks. So.
We expect some moonwalking over in Florida, by the way.
I've been working on that. Some classes, because if I could moonwalk across at the Super Nationals or do some weird crypt thing or something, I'm not much of a dancer, but if I do that, I think it's going to go bananas.
I'm there for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You talk about the flashbang deal. Funny story was when Lottie hired that guy that was on America's Got Talent, Dr. Danger or whatever. Yeah. And we're sitting there on his gator, and I thought we were far enough away. Apparently we were not, and I was not ready for those deals to go
Diesel
off.
bombs, weren't they?
Whatever they were, I'm not 100% sure. But
we felt the heat in the tower. Yeah. I remember that.
Hold on. First of all, we hired a guy that looked like Crocodile Dundee.
Yes.
That lived in his van, I believe.
Correct. He had a snake skin cowboy hat. Yeah. At that point is when I knew this guy wasn't pissing around. And then when we seen the fireballs, I'm like, somebody's going to get hurt tonight. And it could be a track official.
Yeah. So that was, my only experience with that. Is at the Boone Speedway, actually. So.
I think I watched Hank step back a couple times. Yeah. Hank's usually right there in the fire, but not for that one.
No. Yeah. But let's get over to our guests, and it's awesome that you guys, for one, not sure how we talked you into this, but we're glad you're here. And Rod, Sarah, and Hank, you guys obviously spend a ton of time at Boone Speedway to help make it what it is, and I kind of take us into whoever wants to lead off. Sarah, I know you've been there probably. You and Rod been there the longest, right?
I would guess so, yes.
Yeah.
When did you guys, how, when, why, how did you meet Robert Lott?
That's a lot of questions.
I'm just how did you meet Lott?
Which one do you want to start with? Because we've got two different stories, so.
Oh, great.
No.
I'll let Rod go first since he started first, so.
How I started at the Boone Speedway is first Super Nationals. Lottie hired us. It was Bob's brother, Mike, got us hooked up on some jobs at Boone Speedway, and all we did was go around and check the fences, people jumping over the fence. And then really fresh out of high school in 84 is when I graduated, went to work for Lottie because we didn't have jobs, and probably been there ever since. And
84?
Yeah, you started at 88.
I started in 88,
right,
but graduated in 84.
Did you do some odd jobs for him before Boone Speedway, or just Boone was the first?
No.
Okay.
Bob and I kind of had a little construction company. We're doing odd jobs, and his dad had a used lumber yard. We're working for them, and I don't know.
One thing led to the next.
One thing led to the next. We pretty soon we're working 5 tracks for Lottie and driving all over the state, staying everywhere, hauling that little tractor you see that's the tow truck out there.
Hillbilly.
I call it the Hillbilly Wrecker.
Yeah.
We put that thing on a trailer, and all 5 tracks we cheap foot with it.
Really?
Oh, wow.
We only had single drum so it could pull it, and that's what we did back then.
I'll be damned.
Wow.
That thing's had a lot of miles on it then.
No, it's had a few clutches.
Robbie ain't very nice on that clutch either, I tell you.
Yeah, I think I've seen the front end come off the ground a time or two.
Yeah, right.
Gets a little hoppy.
So you basically start in 88. That was when I was born. So that was 37 years ago. Sarah, when did Rod drag you into this? Or were you willing?
No. So actually, I graduated in 89, went to UNI, and I met Lottie's son, Jeff, up at UNI. And I got to hanging around with him and his girlfriend, his roommate. We became friends. And Jeff's like, Dad's always looking for summer help at the track. And I'm like, what track? And he goes, Boone. And I'm like, oh. I grew up about an hour from Boone, never had any reason to come to the track or anything. And I said, well, yeah, I'm going home for the summer, I'm 45 minutes away. I'd love to have a summer job. So I started working there at a concession stand with Jeff's girlfriend, Jill, and started making funnel cakes. That's the first job I had, was working at a concession stand.
Jeff and Jill.
Yeah, Jeff and Jill. Yeah.
That's catchy.
Yeah. So her and I started making funnel cakes. Lottie it was something new they were starting, so we did that. So I started working there for a couple summers, and then eventually I started being cashier, and then as Lottie added Marshalltown, Mason City, started doing that. And then in spring of 95, B called us, and she said, you need to start watching races on TV. And I said, why is that? Lottie wants you to learn how to score. I said, really? And I said, yeah. I said, oh, okay. I said, I'll give it a shot, At this point, I had never really watched a race because I always been concession stand, ticket booth, gate, beer stand, somewhere. So I'm like, well, okay, I'll give it a try. So she said, you go to Marshalltown on Friday nights and work with Mary. I said, okay. So I did that about 2 or 3 weeks, and then Lottie goes, I need to score in Des Moines. You're going down there. I mean, like now.
Just like that.
Just like that. So it was like after about 3-4 weeks, I went down to Des Moines, and because Sue was down there and she had left. So I'm like, okay. So luckily I had Nona down there to help me and help me.
Well, real quick. So he's always been barky.
Yeah, well.
Lottie's always been barky.
Yeah,
okay, all right.
Pretty much. And then he's like, well, I need somebody in Mason City too. And it's like, okay. So, I mean, yeah, I had like 3 or 4 weeks. And luckily in Mason City, I had Joe Atkins, the announcer up there. He was really good. So I've had some really, really good teachers to help me kind of get through and start out.
Teachers, but a little trial by fire.
Absolutely, yes.
And now in them days, and I know most everybody watching this is going to understand, we have transponders now, but them days, that's all you had.
There was no technology back then.
You had a pen and a paper.
You had a pen and a paper and a highlighter because you had to have a point sheet. You lined up. You had to figure everything. And I always laugh because working in Des Moines and like Mason City on those big half miles, I had time in between laps. I could sit there and do lineups.
Yeah, right.
For unless you had a yellow or something. But I mean, it was just so different because you just had time in between. But yeah, everything. Boone, it was totally different.
Hair on fire.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah,
especially in the all the point average stuff.
Right.
That the way they set it up, it was simple. Simple math, but it was a lot of math.
It was a lot of math,
and you had to have it done. And there wasn't any messing around. Like, nobody's going to sit and wait on you. And you know how Lottie is.
Exactly.
We got to go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, so you had to be organized, and you had to know, and you had, like I said, top 3, top 4, whatever it was that night that, we're going to invert. You had to highlight, and then you had to go find them on the point sheet, and then figure out how to do the lineup, and then you had to write them on a piece of paper, and then somebody had to take them down to post them because, computers, you just didn't do it.
See, bud, people think I work a lot now. They have no idea. It was amazing.
I grew up with Boone Speedway, so the times that I would sneak up into the thing. Who was always on the little counter, the little thing, or maybe the lineup board when the lineup board showed up? And you guys had it. It was almost like a typewriter looking thing that would put all the car numbers up there.
Yeah, it was like a scoreboard.
That's what caught my eye because it's like they're just doing this, and then everybody else is writing all the numbers down, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but it's cool. There's people up here in official shirts and stuff, and there's free popcorn. How many numbers do you think you've wrote down?
Oh my God!
I can't even imagine how many. I mean, I wouldn't even be able to guess.
That would be a hell of a number to know how many cars you've scored over the years. It's got to be in the millions.
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I mean, when you just think about how many you do on a regular season, then you think about how many you do at nationals, and then you think about 3 nights a week. And the one year we did 4 nights a week because Lottie had Des Moines, and they were putting up new grandstands, so they raced Thursday night. So we were in Des Moines Thursday night, Marshalltown Friday night, Boone Saturday night, Mason City Sunday night. You know, I
That's a lot
mean,
of fuel.
Look forward to going to work on Monday. to get
yeah,
braced.
just to relax. Yes. I mean, most of them weren't bad, but I mean, Mason City, that was a 2-hour trip each
sure.
way
Well, I
on
know
Sunday nights.
Eventually, we're going to get into like some supernational stuff, but
Yeah.
the things that I have seen and I have learned from you up in the tower is just, I mean, it's just mind-boggling. And you know, the amount of like format changes, and I've never seen Brett walk in the tower and say, "Sarah, we need to change the format," and have her go, "I don't think so." It's okay. Like, and then it's pull the sheet out. Well, we can do this, and he's like, "Yep, do that."
Yeah.
And it's
Some of those,
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool because like some of those meetings, and that's what I was like, this is not her first day at camp.
No.
She's got her dialed in,
No.
you know.
When she reaches for the satchel,
Yeah.
it's game on.
to be able to be on the fly like that, super nationals when we have a rain, or hey, we've got to eliminate this, or we've got to move the program around. You know, to have that kind of knowledge and that kind of person in that position is, I mean,
It's invaluable.
well, yeah. I mean, how do you even put a value on that to know? Like, what do we do in a split second?
Yep.
You know, because of rain, or you know, Rod's freaking out because we're raining, and then how long is it going to take? That's the biggest question everybody asks. Well, how long is it going to take you to get the track ready?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It
we got
depends.
do we got to fire the jet dryer up, or can we just get on her with the grader, you know, or the rippers?
Send Hank out in the sweeper.
I was going to say the street sweeper.
It worked.
It worked. The street sweeper was awesome. He looks at Hank. We were down there.
We were down at the shop talking, and me and Rod were standing there. And I said, "Well, we got to do something."
And he's like, "You think that sweeper would work?" And he's like, "We can try." I'm like, "Sure shit, it did though."
Yeah.
I seen that thing come out, and I thought, okay, Lottie's really trying to get people. And man, it did. It shoved that shit right off of there.
Yeah.
You know what, though, too, guys? That's got to put a lot of pressure on you. You see, especially at Super Nationals, as soon as you guys get on that racetrack in a situation when it's raining, or we've got to take a break because of raining or whatever, everybody's up there, especially when the jet dryer comes out.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it's like, I mean, I've seen it my whole life, but I'm still up there because I want to see what's going on. Like, what are you guys thinking when you got, 2,000 people just throwing a random number out there watching you, like, because I'm thinking, they're freaking out. They got to be.
I never dreamt there would be that many people watching me run around the track making an idiot of myself with a broom.
No,
you know?
You did great. But we were like, this is probably the first time we've seen this one, so we're going to see what Hank does here.
Yeah, first of all, you got no other racetrack's got the jet dryer.
Nope.
No, I don't know how many other racetracks probably have a sweeper to sweep all the pit stalls off,
Not too
let
many.
alone put it on the racetrack too. It's like, okay, these guys are professionals.
Yeah.
I mean, this is NASCAR shit.
So the sweeper thing happened, but let's talk about how you got started at Boone too, Hank, because you didn't start literally working there. You started racing there, right?
Yep. Me and the boys, two boys, and we started cruiser cars, and we raced them for 4 or 5 years.
In the heyday of cruiser cars at Boone.
Yeah.
Every one of them was cheated up.
Oh yeah.
It was fun. And then all of a sudden, that come to an end. And the next spring, I sat at home and for about a month, and I finally told my wife, I said, "No, this ain't going to work. We're going to the racetrack."
Yeah.
So we went to the racetrack, sat in the stands, and kind of just watched for the first couple of weeks. And finally, I ran into Everett Sathers, and I asked him if he needed any help. And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Go talk to Robert Lawton." I said, "Okay." And I went and talked to Lottie, and Lottie said, "Yeah, be here next week." So I started there and sitting in the staging and right beside where Lottie sits. And he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, just seeing what needs to be done." He says, "You get out in the infield, you cool cars off. That's your job." So I did that for, I don't know, a year or so. And then all of a sudden they needed a tractor driver. So then they put me on the small hillbilly with the DOT packer. And all I could do is run the bottom half.
Yep.
That thing bouncing around and no fenders on it. I was mud from one end to the other.
Had a Pall Mall going the whole time over here, dude.
I was always dreading that, but it was fun.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, I wanted to drive the 5020, and that was Bob Ross's tractor at that time. And Bob's, I don't know, backed down a little bit, and I finally got on there, and that was my tractor.
Haven't got off it since.
Yeah, I love that thing.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Well, we talked about it, though, too. You've been letting Jake dabble on it a little
Yeah,
bit.
Jake does a great job on there. Usually, you got to shift that thing so don't force it. You lock it in gear, and Jake does a great job on that thing.
It's the old synchro range, is that right?
Yeah.
What gears do you run when you're packing? You run
Eighth.
wide open.
Yep. Well, not wide open, but eighth.
Okay.
I mean, is that what it takes when you're pulling? I mean, how heavy? Do we know how heavy those packers are?
Each one weighs 10,000 pounds. So you don't stop them on a dime.
It's a wagon load of corn.
Right.
A big wagon.
Yeah.
Who was pulling the packers when she decided to come apart?
Let go?
Yeah.
That was,
Hank.
Was it Hank? When did you go? At this moment, he knows that something fucked up.
I came down the runoff road, and I turned and going to go up 3 and into 4, and man, middle of 3 felt really weird. I turned around and looked at me, and I didn't have nothing but one axle. Mm-hmm. So I pulled down in the infield and scratching my head what I was going to do. And first thing popped in my mind, we got to get this mess cleaned up now. Mm-hmm. So I ran down to the bottom and grabbed the telehandler, and it's all it wanted to do is to pick one up. Mm-hmm. So I kind of babied it off the track and got that off, and then I grabbed some more of the stuff, and then we had some piles of man sand. We needed to get that cleaned up, and scooped it up. One guy said, push it over the top of the hill, and I said, no, I ain't mixing that with the black dirt.
Oh, yeah.
We're hauling it to the bottom. So I, as fast as I could, is get it cleaned up, and Rod and all
We're
the other.
still trying to farm the track for that session, and
Yeah.
Hank's trying to get this cleaned up. And
What were you saying on the radio?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
well,
he never really said anything. Then eventually they just pulled down in the infield and sat there and waited. I don't know how long it took, but seemed like it went pretty fast.
But
It did.
It really didn't go that
was
long.
on,
Yeah.
I mean, it was nationals.
Yes.
It was on
Yeah.
the clock. I'm thinking 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It was all.
It wasn't, but
something like that happens. It's all hands on.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you do? Another thing happening right in the heat of the moment.
yeah.
I don't know if any other racetrack, is going to be able to, A, keep farming the racetrack, for one. For two, right during the Super Nationals. 3, we just lost a packer.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yep.
So we
Who
got
are these
everything.
clowns?
They parked down in the infield, and I got the stuff all cleaned up, and I hollered at Rod on the radio. I said, Rod, the racetrack's yours. And he farmed it, and we went racing.
So, and you had to, Rod, when they decided not to shove that off the track, you're probably thinking, okay, good call there, because then you'd have had to go out there and kind of get that shit
We'd
off
have to
there.
separate it
Right.
sooner or later.
Right. Best to do it right then and there. So, and it kind of speaks to the level of talent, maybe lack of another word, but that you guys you've got in your employees that know something like that, just to have that thought, to not blend that in. Some people would just shove it right off there. It'll save you a couple minutes. Well, it'll cost you a half an hour or an hour later.
A couple hours later.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's, from my perspective, like the talent that you got working that track, hooking the cars off the track, doing the whole thing together. It's something to see.
Show in itself.
Yep, it is.
Well, and it's probably the most thankless job out of everything. Obviously, you guys all know this too, but for the people that are watching this, it's definitely the most thankless job. Somebody's always got to critique something, and
These three have known me for a very long time, and Rod will stop over every once in a while. Well, yeah, I'm like, what are you? Lose, and
just talking with his hands.
right, all the time. And you don't see that stuff. And like at Super Nationals, we've talked about it. Like when they're changing Packer tires, the one year they went through 327 tubes on them Packers, and you got Hank and Joe and Rod and Kenny and everybody back there using these. I don't know if I should say this for insurance reasons, but these jacks were from like Vietnam.
They're handyman jacks.
Yeah, they're handyman. Still, Vietnam. And we've got Hank, and we've got all these guys. I'm thinking like, God dang, there's got to be some young people around here. So when I'm coming through hauling cars in and out of there during Super Nationals, I'll stop every once in a while because they got the gate blocked or whatever with fixing the tractors, and I'm just like, wow. What? I mean, I don't know how many tubes Kenny changed that year, but it was
a ton.
Just another thing, you don't think about that. Well, if we don't have those Packers, we don't have, people are going to bitch more about how slimy that racetrack is after a farm session during Super Nationals.
Mm-hmm. Right, and it's just all the little, like you said, the little behind-the-scenes stuff. Like, yeah, we got the bill from Trickles on the tubes, and it was quite a few of them. So.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
Well,
We had that Packer going the next day.
But, okay, that's a good question. Rod,
remember.
do you think that the racetrack is better when you use your own Packers or when we got cars out there?
I kind of like the cars myself, but the Packers do an excellent job.
Right. Mm-hmm. Is it just because you got like everybody always bitches, oh geez, we got to get our race cars out there, and I'm thinking, when I was growing up, that was what everybody did before you got. I don't know when everybody got the Packers there, the nice ones. What year that was? If anybody, can you guys remember?
After 2004, I promise you that, because I remember packing with the cars.
Yeah, that's all it was. Everybody.
Well,
and if you didn't pack, you didn't race.
We used to do it together.
Yeah. I do kind of remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember taking a buddy of mine's car out there and didn't really realize how his throttle worked, and I got my foot in the wrong spot, and we got a little stuck, and it took off. And I thought that tractor was coming at me awful fast, but yeah, I remember Lottie making that announcement. He grabbed the mic. If your car doesn't have dirt on it, you're not racing, or mud on it.
Yeah.
So,
that was back when we pulled like 70 or 80 pounds of mud off the cars instead of 20 or 30 now,
Mm-hmm.
What year was it that they used to put the fenders on the front of the modifieds? You remember that?
Long before my time, Hank. I don't remember.
I remember that. Don't you, Rod?
Some guys did it.
Yeah.
Some didn't.
Not everybody,
just
but
to keep from throwing the mud, is that?
Basically.
Yeah. We made some. We had to do that out at I think it was Canyon one year, because they had a lot of the wing, like they'd race the modifieds with the wingless sprint cars, so they'd have that thing juiced up. Well, then they'd make all the modifieds and stock cars or whatever were the econo stocks, whatever they had, go pack them out. So after like the about the second week, we realized we needed to do something so that the deck wasn't falling in, and you'd have to weld slugs in, and we made our own like mud flaps. You just slide them in there and pin them.
No shit.
And then keep them from.
I used to love when we packed the track with the cars, because I could always get in my buddy's car, and before I raced, so I'd be out there rodding around, and we're packing the track. I hear like now when we've been out, like we're not racing on the track, we're packing it, we're getting it ready, But I was I was always the jackass about half throttle with all my buddies in there, check it out,
Well, that was it, because you had more than just a driver in the car when you come out to pack.
Oh,
you
yeah.
could throw in anybody.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Great for the kids.
Yeah.
Which there wasn't a lot of kids allowed in the pit area at that time, but that was right when it was. I think it was 14 or older, maybe.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, there'd definitely be carloads of people and people sitting up on the back deck, and it was a time. I mean,
And we used to pack the track backwards then.
oh yeah.
I was
Yes.
going to
Yeah.
say that, so that was one thing that people have always brought up, like, why do they pack it backwards this way and then they go the right way later or whatever. So I want, like, you guys explain to everybody, like, what that's all about or what the theory is, if you know.
That'd be Rod.
Yeah.
Because we can.
Yeah.
Create questions.
Yeah.
I like it. How long, since we're on the track prep thing, right, we just will keep going with it. What does it take? What do you shoot for? I mean, we know Nationals is different, but on a weekly show, you know, you're averaging, Boone Speedway is averaging about 150 cars on a weekly show. How much different is that than Super Nationals? We know you're on a little bit more of a time crunch during Super Nationals, but is it a 15-minute farm session during the weekly show, or is it 20? What is that and why?
Weather has a lot to do with it. During the weekly show, it's not as important as the Nationals. You know, we're trying to put on a show there. But I like to say during the weekly show, we have 3 chances to get it right. And before we start racing, right after hot laps, we do a farm session. And then again before the features. And by that time, I hope we have it right.
When do you go, oh shit, it's not right, we better make up for in this next session? Is that a wind thing? Like, I've noticed over the last couple of years, you know, when it's super windy, it's a lot tougher for you guys, just
Yes.
because of, like, especially a north wind.
It's going to dry out quicker. It's not going to last as long. You know,
We know you hate a cushion.
oh,
We know that you hate a cushion. Okay, Bobby Pierce made that real clearly. And I was not a Bobby Pierce fan for a long time because of that comment. How do you make it to where, like, you go to all these other racetracks all over the United States, and there's always a cushion? What does the track doctor do to, I mean, I guess if this is a secret, you don't have to tell us, but how do you do it? Because when I'm racing out there and I dip my right rear off the racetrack, I'm wondering, if there was a cushion, I'd be all right. But it makes you be a little more disciplined.
the cushion thing, I think if we had a wall around the top, the dirt would stay on the track. And then you definitely would have the cushion. I personally don't like the cushion. It gets to be a train track sometimes.
Yeah.
The wood might, you know, because you can't grip the track as hard and it don't pile up like it would if there was a wall up there.
Right. Because sometimes we see you guys when you're out there farming. I tell everybody the most important thing about the Boone Speedway is the farm sessions, because they are dictating that racetrack every time they go out there. Mm-hmm. What we've seen.
If you're not watching it,
you're an idiot.
you're the guy in the back.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I tell people that all the time, and they're like, "Oh, well, they're just out there dumping water." I'm like, "Yeah, but
There's a method to it.
How much?
There's a
water?
reason
Well,
for it.
that's-
We're not out there to sell hot dogs. So
Right.
there's
Right.
a reason that they're out there doing what they're doing.
Yep.
and people, if you don't pay attention, okay, the yellow water truck, it shoots less out the front than it does in the rear. The little
Yes.
the little water truck, which Rod drives a lot, Nate's
At
one-
Nationals, because it's on a time thing. We're trying to get this done. We got to go.
Because you can tell, like, the water truck will start out, and then it'll start. And you can also tell how fast the water truck's going. If the water truck's going fast, they're in a hurry. And how many more times that they go around the racetrack. Or then you'll see the Packers come out. Like, it's all a very oiled machine.
Jonathan's got it. He's standing there with a clicker.
Oh, I'm
How many
telling you.
times the
I'm
water
telling
truck
you.
Running
goes.
a little long this time, boys.
Yeah, right. And then you can always see Rod in there. I don't know what he's saying, but I know that, like we better hit the top another time. Or
Helpful comments.
yeah.
Well, there's,
I can hear. And it is some of the best parts of my night.
sometimes, I mean, I would say
Little
it's a
sarcasm.
little spicy sometimes,
I like
but
it.
a lot of sarcasm. And again, if it wasn't sarcastic, them boys got thick skin. He can get after them. But
Well, and you talk about it too, and there's like, if you watch the buses as well, so like the buses will move different spots because he's telling them like, hey, we need to roll this in or whatever. Like, or most of the time he's like, we rolled that in already. You guys need to move down 2 laps ago.
What did you not understand? Something about that.
Well, I will say that there's times like when I'm leading a race, and I hate when Rod comes out and he's pointing us. So I'm like, don't pack in another line for some ass to drive by me on. But at the same time, I kind of understand. So I like, if you've ever noticed when I'm leading, I will slow way down to help. Or not help, but I'm thinking, hey, I don't want to make a bunch of laps around here and pack in another lane because I'm a sitting duck at this point. But at B, I know that they're up there trying to figure out the lineup, especially if we have made a couple of laps. But you've seen it at a ton of racetracks. I mean, you can pack in a lane, even if it's crumbs.
I think, when during the yellows, if it's long, we've packed a lot. You better be moving when it goes green.
Yeah.
You 100%. Got about 3 or 4 laps. You got to make some moves.
And this is one thing that I've noticed about the Boone Speedway versus other racetracks is like you'll see more change after a yellow at Boone Speedway than most other places.
They can run in formation for 15 laps, and after a 5 or 8 lap yellow,
completely
everywhere.
different.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
And absolutely.
Because there's times where like, you'll mod lights or sport mods will go out and you're like, man, we just need 1 yellow and this thing's going to just widen out. And it's like, and then it happens and then you're like, oh, now they're 3 wide or whatever.
Or follow the leader.
Right.
The track may be perfect all the way across it, but that leader goes down around the bottom. Everybody does it. And it kills me. It's like.
We have conversations all the time about this, Rod and I. It's like, there's 23 other dudes and they just followed this guy the whole time. And then they want to bitch about it. And it's like, if you guys take 3 of you and move up, it burns in the other lane, and then you can race. Like
it's a double-edged sword, really, as a driver, because you can go up and watch the modified race, right? We've seen it 100 times. It's 2-3 wide racing, or it might just be a ripper around the top if there is a cushion or something happens. You get the stock cars out there, all of a sudden, either the mods push it so far up to where we can't get. Like it's so long around there that the bottom then comes in. Because like sometimes the mod lights will go out there and they won't even touch the bottom. They'll be like in the middle of the racetrack and kind of throw all the shit up. Well, then the sport mods go out there and they kind of run where they're at. So then it'll create a little bit of a cushion. Well, then the mod guys get out there and they're like,
they just blow it off.
Yep. They're like, nope, see ya. Well, then the stock cars are kind of limited at that bottom. But then there's times too where it's like, if you have the balls to go up there, and actually, Dave Smith and Devin are really good at that. Like, they just have that top figured out. They can see it,
Yep.
And the bottom lane might be the dominant lane because there might be some grip down there where we can catch, but the momentum deal, and it's in the race video that we had at my race party, you could. I won that race on the bottom, but Dave almost snookered me on the top. And
just about.
The top was not the preferred lane, but we had a caution.
Right.
And then it's like,
got rid of the crumb.
Yeah.
Got a little track.
Cleaned her up a little bit, and there was some shit up there.
So, and since we said you can see it, that actually leads me to a question for Rod. When you're standing in 3, are you watching the cars race and where they're going, or are you watching the dirt? Which one's a little
bit of both?
Are you? Because you can see if you watch that dirt, you can see it start to change color. And see what it needs. But are you?
The track's going 1 lane, we'll say. I'm probably out there the opposite of where I think they're running. Trying to pack something down there or up there if they're running the bottom, whichever. Just trying to. I don't like follow the leader race.
Doing what Jonathan doesn't want you to do.
I just slow down. When Rod gives you when he's got his arm out like this, that's where you go.
You go there.
You don't go around him. You don't go. You go right there.
Right.
You might even get lucky if he's in a real good mood. He'll give you a little high fiver. That's when you know Rod's having a good day. Trash good.
Special treatment.
Right.
Home.
Hot dogs aren't overcooked.
Things are good.
Right.
Hey, let's I just texted G. I'm like, hey, where are we at? And he's like, it's break time.
It's
boys.
break time.
So here, we'll send this off to our first break, Central Iowa Diesel Performance, and then when we come back, we'll keep talking about, behind the scenes racetrack things. So yes, like I said, off to Central Iowa Diesel Performance. You've been listening to and watching Watermelons and Woodchips. Be right back.
Central Iowa Diesel Performance is a full-service preventative maintenance and truck repair center in Ames, Iowa. While they specialize in high-performance applications, they can do fleet repair, engine maintenance, transmission repair, or things such as brakes and electrical. Anything diesel truck-related, Central Iowa Diesel Performance is your go-to shop. Check them out at www.centraliowadieselperformance.com.
Welcome back, race fans. Watermelons and Woodchips presented by Central Iowa Diesel Performance. Back from the break, and we talked a lot about just kind of everything there and racetrack stuff. And I kind of want to get into you guys had some background in working on race cars and stuff as well. Like, I know you guys were really involved at one point in time with Larry Silbaugh, who was a Super Nationals champion, and kind of the Green County. There's a lot of number 21s now that race hobby stocks and 22s and off of that. And kind of talk about that stuff, because you guys were involved in that as well. Kind of, like I said, wearing many hats on here.
Well, Larry, we graduated at the same year. Best friends all through high school, junior high. He raced. I never have raced in my life. Always just helped Larry and worked for Lottie. That's my racing background. I guess, a lot of people, well, you work the track, ain't that a help for Larry? And I'm like, all you racers are pretty smart. If Larry's doing something, you're probably following him.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, you're not driving the car.
I'm not driving it.
Right.
I've never done anything that would help Larry on the track. Because like I said, it's the same for everybody. If he's doing it, why aren't you doing it?
Right.
Yep.
Right. And so what's that like? Like, you'd work for Lottie on the racetrack, and then you got to go, obviously work your other job, and then you got to work on the race car. And, I've kind of been in situations like that where doing kind of the same thing, but people think it's like, well, this guy, I mean, and honestly, like, I hear about Isaac all the time, and it's like, this is the same for everybody. There's no, he's been black flagged probably more times than anybody else, probably because of the last name.
And in all honesty, Larry probably had more calls go against him than for him, just because you wanted to make sure that,
there was no.
Yeah.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
You're going to.
You're right. It's a tough thing. Like, I had a lot of people Saturday night from the Boone Speedway here at the race, or at my race party, which, everybody sees me, I'm chewing ass or just venting to everyone, and I'm like, I kind of look around at the end of the night, and everybody's giving me shit about it, and I'm like, yeah, we had the track guy here. We had the main scorer here. We had the second command on the track prep here. We had the flagman here. We had the announcer here. We had the GM here. I'm like, and let me tell you, they don't give me no favoritism. And I'm like, it's kind of bullshit. They come and hang out like we're all friends, and we get to the racetrack, and but a very, very cool thing. There's no favoritism at the Boone Speedway. And I mean, we talked about Bob Ross. Bob Ross has known me since I was a little kid. He's the only racetrack I've ever been disqualified or even black flagged at is the Boone Speedway.
Well, I'll tell you, from my perspective too, and maybe I might be wrong on this, but there are enough people at each position to hold everybody accountable. If there was something improper going on, I think somebody would call it out,
Well, I don't think there's any decision made that only one person has to okay it.
Nope.
And just like a lot of the calls on the track, we always make sure at least two people see the same thing.
Yep. Yep.
think that's kind of a checks and balances.
For sure.
Nobody has the power to say, nope, this is the way I see it, and that's it.
And we were talking off air about, the transponders and the scoring of the cars. And for years, it was your left hand, and your eyeballs, and that was how it is.
That was it, yeah.
And I'm positive you had close calls and had other people helping,
Absolutely. Yeah, it used to be there was always like 2 of us at Boone. In Nationals, there was 3 of us.
Okay.
And like Marshalltown would have 2. When I was in Des Moines, it was basically just me. Nona would kind of help, but she didn't do it all the time. Up to Mason City, it was just me. But Joe, I mean, if things were kind of close, he could step in. He got somebody else's eyes on it also.
Right.
But at the end of the day, back in the day, you made the call. I mean, you looked at it, you watched, and you made the call. And it's like Lottie told me when I started. He says, I'll tell you right now. He says, I'll have your back every time as long as you can justify it and as long as you're consistent. Mm-hmm. And I will say he held up to his end of the deal.
Yep.
Because he always had my back.
And that now we have transponders.
Yep. So now the transponders, they kind of do the work. I still score every race just because transponders are technology, and we all know technology, things happen. Laps can get dropped, transponders get lost.
Not
charged.
Hey.
Forget to put in the car.
I did that 1 year. And now all they say is 69 Junior, if you got that transponder, hit that switch for us. I'm like, shit. And flip it on. But that happened at the Clash on the Coast last year. So a guy got crashed out. His transponder died, so he put his neighbors that was crashed out, he put his transponder on there, and that's what comes up on the screen is that guy, because it's registered to his name, and nobody could figure it out. And we're like, finally, they're like, Bobcat, go over and check out and see what's going on. I get over there, they're pissed off.
Sure.
Because, I'm like, well, maybe if you told somebody that you put his transponder on, we would know what's going on. I mean, it screwed the whole thing up.
Sure.
Because there was that guy's transponder in there, and this other guy that was racing was, not anywhere.
Right.
Well, it's like when Mike Smith was talking to us in here, and he said that they switched those transponders accidentally, and it cost him $10,000 or $15,000 because it was a bonus deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep, but then he didn't have to file taxes.
Yeah.
He was all right with that, I guess.
Give me the $15,000.
Yeah, I'll figure out the taxes. But when we do, since we have the transponders, we still have times that there will be a super close call.
Oh, absolutely.
And you'll get somebody's attention, mine sometimes, and we'll watch. And we have had cars where I'm like, hey, I watched him cross.
Right.
That guy was ahead. But the transponders had it the other way.
Yeah.
So we'll pull him down the infield. Hey, Roger, have a look. And sure as hell, transponder's here, and it's supposed to be here.
Right.
Really?
It's happened.
It's been in the wrong spot.
So you guys do a coin flip on that then when you have a disagreement on the call?
I'd say
how's that work?
if it's super close, we just have them look. You know, if it's that close, hey, make sure they're in the right spot.
Because there's a picture right up here.
It's behind
my
the
helmet. But I beat Bo Partain by this much. So thank you for calling that my side that night. I appreciate that. Last lap, little gig deal there. I did send the Robbins family a couple of gift cards next week.
Remember Christmas was good that day.
I thought they slid you an envelope at the race party the other night. Was that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. That's right.
We're just starting rumors over here.
And I
love it.
slid them a nice little beer sign.
But where that loop is at Boone, it's just a little ahead of the flag stand.
It is.
Yes. So
that was a question in here.
So like where your stock car has it now, where your modified had it, when that thing hits that loop, your front bumper's real close to the start-finish line.
Right.
It's real close.
Oh, so it'd be coming out of turn 4. It's in front of the flag stand.
Yes, it's just ahead of it.
So everybody quit letting out of the gas on hot laps because usually I'm not paying attention and I run you over.
Yeah.
So, and at Stewart, it's past. Or I'm sorry. It's a ways ahead of the flag stand.
Really?
Because there was there's a stripe painted on the fence at Stewart.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we had a night. I think it was the whole hog. I think it was Dallin that won it over Damon, and he literally passed him in that zone, like between there, or where it hit. Or that was the other way around. I'm sorry. He got there and then passed him, and it looked like he got him, but he didn't because of where the loop is. So,
And you got to remember too, it's the transponder's reading. it's not necessarily the front of the car.
Correct.
Because we've had that issue before too.
I was going to say that's been a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think for the perfect location would be the front bumper, right? But there's no way you'd trash them.
It never lasts on my car.
Right.
We'd end with 2 of them working, you know. So it has to be protected.
Well, and there are guys that, you know, other racetracks, they mount them in different spots than what we do. So they just mount them where their home track is. And then, you know, we end up in a situation where, like, and Roger's trying to tell this guy, like, no, it goes here. And he's like, well, that's not where we have it at home. And it's like, well, it doesn't matter.
Nope.
But
well,
you got beat.
Yeah.
So.
And, I mean, when guys come to the window and sign in at night, and they're like, where'd my transponder go? I said, you go down to Tommy's shack. He's got it posted.
He's got a thing right on the window.
Where you need to go.
And now that IMCA has it in the rules for each class, too, that's really helpful for us because we can just point to that.
Right.
But, yeah, it is definitely – it's one of those things where just like you're responsible for your pit crew, you're responsible for where your transponder's mounted. And, and it's one of those things. We've watched guys get cost race because of it.
Well, I was just going to say that the dome, Kyle Strickler, Peyton Taylor, they just never even had their transponder on. Guess what, boys? Tail.
Yep.
That ruins your whole night.
Yep.
At least they don't do that at a lot. I've never seen them do that at an IMCA track. I've always seen them, you know, whoever's on the call that night, hey, you need to go check your transponder, or you need to do this. And then they always give you that. I've never been called for it, but mine's a hardwire. So I can. It's really easily. We run the yellow transponder at Marshalltown, the rechargeable one. It is so easy to forget sometimes that, you know, tell Mary you'll be home for dinner.
That's who it was.
But it is very easy to get to the racetrack, get distracted, and forget to just throw it in there. You know, that's kind of why I went with the hardwire one. The rechargeable ones are a little nicer, but I got a lot of shit going on at the racetrack, you know.
And that's been a topic of discussion is if they don't have it on, do we DQ them? You know, and it's like, you know, or if it has it on and it's not working, and it's like, you know, I get it, but at the same time, it's like these guys come to race.
Right. It's hard to ruin a guy's
It's hard to ruin a guy's night because you know what? He forgot to put it in. I forgot to charge it. It's, you know, and there again, if it's not working and it's one of ours, you know, or if it's theirs, there's no way to test it ahead of time. I mean, you can't, it's hard to penalize a guy for that.
But say at the same time, how long have we been running transponders?
Absolutely.
It's been at least 5 years.
It's been at least 10.
Yeah,
okay.
Over 10, those ones that we have.
Maybe they need, I mean, I get what you're saying because we only get so many laps on the racetrack.
Right.
You know, and to ruin somebody's night, especially if they're a couple hours from home,
exactly.
you don't know where they're from.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
We haven't DQ'd anybody.
No.
But I do kind of like the way Grant, was it last year he did it a little bit, where a guy, they came out, and if it didn't work, he'd tell them, next time you come out, it better work.
Right.
Or every yellow, we're going to dock you 2 spots. And that gets a guy's attention real quick.
Well, discipline.
It is discipline.
Right. Yeah. Because otherwise they'd run all over you.
Yeah.
Well, because we all know as soon as you let somebody get away with something, everybody just goes haywire.
But it's really not been a huge issue.
It really hasn't.
It hasn't. And that's why it's like, you know what? It's not a huge issue. I don't want to start penalizing people for...
I think you start getting the same guy doing it a lot.
Right. Then...
You got to teach him.
Yeah.
How many... okay, here's a question for the transponder thing. During Super Nationals, how do you guys manage that?
Oh, Sarah.
Being able to well, I'm just saying, like, to get them all recharged.
Dude.
Make sure you're getting them back.
We got to bring him to the slab trailer.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't know.
You got to see the setup that they have down there. It's crazy.
We bring in the guys, Bolton and Zach have been coming the last couple of years, my race pass, for my laps. And luckily, they come and they kind of handle that for us during nationals. We try to do it ourselves, and it's just there's just too much. With all we've got to do, we just can't handle that on top of it.
Berserk because the lines at Super Nationals. It is what it is, but it's just like the line's half-mile long. You know? Yeah. It's like.
But I mean, those guys come in. They they take care of renting those out. They're sitting in the infield, so if somebody has a problem, they're right there to switch it out.
Yep.
They luckily cars race 2 or 3 nights, so they can keep it that whole time. But then they're responsible for getting the transponders back. I mean, Bolton writes down everybody's phone number when he rents it to them. He's calling them the next day if they haven't turned it in. So they've had really good luck, and people are getting more, I don't want to say used to, but they're doing a better job of getting them turned in and getting them.
Well, that was going to be my next question. So we know the Boone Speedway has, 100 transponders for like a weekly show?
For a weekly show, we have probably 100. We have 100. Probably 100, and then I borrow some from Brett just in case, like for specials.
Okay. How many more of those do you have at Super Nationals?
So Super Nationals, we have probably, let's see, there's 13 cases I think he brings. So we have probably 1,100.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
When you shut the door in there and them things are all lighting up, charging, it's like a Christmas tree.
I get him the week before. He ships them all to me. I go through every case, make sure everything's marked, make sure I have the lists. So when they come and start renting them, he can write everything up, get them all charged so they're all ready to go. And it's just amazing, as long as we've been running transponders, how many people still rent them.
Yep.
Because they just don't want to have to be responsible for it. It's just, to them, it's easier to come up and give you your money, and I take it, and at the end of the night, I give it back to you. I don't have to worry about charging it during the week. I don't have to worry about throwing it in the trailer. If there's problems, I mean, Yep.
Wow. Yeah, it's quite the operation. And then, to touch on not just the transponders, but the registration process of Super Nationals. We're talking about how long the lines are. But, I mean, and Sara knows we have gone over this thing so many times in so many different ways trying to trim. If we can save you a minute, that saves us as a whole 140 minutes. Like, you really start to add it up. And I wish there was a way. It's the first day. That's the one that takes the longest. You got the most paperwork. You got all that stuff. I wish there was a way to make that better. We just cannot with our limitations. And I don't want to say MRP limits us, but it doesn't take Social Security numbers. It doesn't take Fed IDs, and we can't. Those are the things we have to have because. And I'm going to use you as an example because you're a driver. If I don't get it from you there, I'll never get it. And you're the one that'll win $1,000, and then I got to send you a 1099.
And I am guilty as shit as this. I always leave my money. I'm lucky Jennifer will set my envelopes to the side or bring them to me or whatever. I'm terrible about it, but it's just because there's just so much going on.
Sure,
sure. And I get it. That is such a mess.
Well, and you have to check in with IMCA, and they have to verify things. I mean, and really, it's not that big a deal. To me, it's not that big a deal the first day for you to have to stand in line for a little bit. Right. Because there again, most drivers send their wives, their girlfriends, their kids, somebody to do it for them. And then after that, I mean, compared to how registration was 10 years ago pre-COVID,
oh boy,
it has improved vastly. And that's one thing every year we look at to try to, hey, how did it work last year? Hey, this worked great. Let's keep it the same. And I think we've got it to where it's pretty quick.
It is.
You can tell. I mean, it really does move along quite. I mean, and let's be honest here. A lot of us racers are procrastinators. It's kind of nice that
we've noticed.
And so it's like everybody waits till the last minute to go over there, or it's like, oh, the line's a half mile long. I'm going to wait. Well, then it doesn't change for hours the first day.
Yeah. The first day's a rough one.
Right. And then, so it's nice that we get that little pamphlet with your sheets in it. So, if, for instance, like us at Rage, we're hauling cars in and out. There's sometimes we don't make it, or we're not able to get there to check in on time. Thank God we got somebody else that can take our papers there, and everybody's usually good about it. So, I definitely can tell you that it's changed a lot. I remember when they brought the container in that they keep all the stuff in where the tech tent was back in the day. Way more organized than what it was, which comes with a lot of years of doing it.
I mean, we used to, you used to come and, we used to have the manual. You had to either do the bingo balls or something. And then we had the labels that we printed out, and we had the papers, and drivers had those sheets. And, I mean, it was, which back then it was a process and it worked. But
and you had to have it.
And you had to have it.
I mean, if you didn't have that.
You didn't have MRP on your phone to look up and see what did I draw.
There was no backup.
There was nothing.
That was what you had.
Yeah, and I remember those papers with the big sheet because you'd print off two, right? You'd put one on the big sheet.
We'd print off two labels, or we'd put one on their draw sheet, and we put one on those labels. And then that's how we did lineups. We went through those big papers with the labels, to do lineups for Super
I
Nationals.
wonder how many miles of tape Tommy's gone through. In the shaft. You know what I mean? I don't know if you've ever been in, you guys have been in his little hut, but he's got like 2,300 little strips of tape. I think he's measured each one of them out too, because he's like in there doing his shit. The voice of the pit area.
Yep. We print a lot of paper.
And to go back to that label one, so it's when I was roommates with Jeff Olson, it would have been 2010, I think. It was 2009. And he was racing sport mods, and we still had the big sheets and the whatever. But he drew a 1, and that draw sheet was taped up to our wall. Like the whole time we lived together. It was just so we had that.
He wanted
the number 1 sheet was on the wall.
Yep. Yeah. I would like, I've suggested this a couple times. I think I'm going to do it again this year. I would like to get it set up. I don't know if it's a $50 bill or what, but if somebody draws a 1 or the dead last number, I'd like to be able to do something like that. Like you just won something, I don't know.
You guys will be handing me a lot of money. I'm always drawing
for the
like
300.
Shit. Yeah. It's like the bucket thing. Like it's so cool that they went to the draw bucket stuff. Like good draw, bad draw, medium draw. Yeah. I'm like at the bottom line of each one.
The bad part of the good draw.
Bad part of the good draw. Yeah.
It is, and I'll tell you too. So last year is the first year in a while that I didn't sit there and sign in drivers every day. I was everywhere, but I kind of missed it. A little bit because it's kind of nice. You talk to every single driver.
I thought it was just because you got to actually sit on your ass for like hours.
I didn't get to do that. I was doing a little running around.
It is. I mean, it is, and it's guys you only see once a year.
It is. It's pretty cool to. I mean, that event for me is, and I'm sure like everybody has their. You wouldn't keep going back if you didn't like it, but there's so many parts of that. Yeah, there's the people that come from out of state that you only see once a year. There's the races that stand out, and I'm going to make more notes this year of like, okay, that was a banger. Like I got to make a note for that one, or we're very privileged.
You had your notes going. Had a big thing going on. Heat race 17 and the sport mods. We got to go back and watch that.
And that all started just because I wanted to be able, when I got home, I could watch on the IMCA TV replay. I want to go see that because I didn't get to watch it. You just saw the end of it. It's like, ooh, I want to see what led up to that.
Or sometimes if there's Perry gets his headset ripped off, or
Well, getting a
Pear dog taking a stray,
skinny dipping.
Skinny
dipping.
I Bannister Lynch. We still haven't received the money for the damaged headset.
We're still waiting.
That's probably what that guy called about the other day on the voicemail.
That's right.
Yeah, we might be getting some voicemails here pretty soon.
Warranty work.
Yeah. Oh, and you haven't talked about how many guests now. Is this?
I kind of forgot about it just because it's such a thing. I mean, 3 more people on here without Jared before Jared. He's really probably going to be felt left out on this one because,
I mean, we got his brother on here. So.
Right.
And, we'll just have to see how the rest of that goes. But we have a couple things on the IMCA Super Nationals. We talk about the 8 straight days and the physical and the mental toll. When do you start gearing up for Super Nationals? I know the answer to this, but I got to ask you straight up. When do you start mentally like it's coming?
Usually about April or May.
Right?
I mean, I'll like either reach out to Brett or wait for him to reach out to me, and it's like, okay, what do you want to change this year, or what are you looking at this year, or what do you think we need to do different? I mean, to start kind of thinking and planning ahead, and but really, it's July and August when it really kicks in.
Starts setting in.
Yeah, because then that's when he really starts like, oh, this is what we need to do. This is what I want to do. Can we do this? Or, this didn't work, so we need to do this. And
on top of it, he throws in, we're going to pour this much concrete.
Yeah.
We're going to have Hank bore the line in with his backhoe and just the bucket around the top of turn 3 and 4. Huh? Come on.
Hey, that was nifty.
Yeah.
And we need to prep the track too.
Shit.
Yeah, Rod's like, we need to add wood, so we got to find time to work on that. We need to add this. We got to do this. And
actually, let's talk about that process. So when do you guys decide okay, we got to go to the wood pile and get the spreader and do all that stuff? Like what like what changes in the track happen so that you guys are like, okay, we have to start doing this?
When we determine that we're going to need to put wood in, the track will probably it'll get really hard, and it's hard to maintain. It's hard to grade. When it rains, you can't get rid of that greasy stuff, and the wood kind of does that for it.
Okay.
Helps that out real well.
Feel it with the blade more, like when you're.
Yes, it's really working the grader hard when there ain't no wood in it, and it's usually 8-9 nights. We try to do it maybe 3 times a year. I like to do it, turn the dirt over. I like when first couple weeks after we put wood in, I think it's really good racing then.
Do you think, Rod, that's just because it's softening up that track and
Yes.
it's just making it more forgiving?
Yes.
To where it's like we don't see the Boone Speedway take rubber very often, but there are times where we get towards the end of the season or we've been in a really hot spell and the track's super freaking hard. There aren't any holes in it other than turn 1. But
It took a while for that to come up.
Yeah.
it did.
Wow, he's looking right at me.
Kind of was.
You know how I am. I always tell him he should be out there digging holes in it to give it a little character.
Yes.
But it is the smoothest racetrack in the country, and I think a lot of people appreciate that, and we get spoiled with that a little bit because you start driving around and going to some other racetracks, not even necessarily right here in this area, but a few in this area. They're Western.
Yes.
They're rough, and we're spoiled with that a little bit. But I agree. I think that when you turn that over, everybody's always like, it's weird when you drive by the racetrack and you guys have been out there and spread the wood chips.
And we haven't worked it in or
Yeah.
nothing. You're thinking like, what'd they do?
yeah, seriously. And
Yes.
the people that live here understand what's going on, but it's just so weird. It looks like you guys put a wood floor on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's weird. It gets all dry, and if I'm correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think a lot of the wood chips come from the city here in town. Isn't that where it kind of started?
When we started it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I've been out there, and there's been, not wood chips. It's wood sticks
Yes.
out there. And, we bust them up. But, we got a little oak over here. We got a little ash over here. We got a little maple down here.
You ever smell it? When you're racing, you can smell it.
Do you guys remember when the late models were here and the track was smoking? Going into turn 3 and 4?
Yeah.
I'd never seen anything like it.
I love it. It reminds me of standing in a smoker smoking a brisket or whatever. I'm like, oh, man. You can smell it.
You should smell it when you're in the tractor going around packing it in. It really, yeah.
Maybe you don't like it as much. Because there's another job that Sarah does that we haven't talked about much.
I thought we were going to kind of get into that. So when you do the wood chips, I've seen it, but not a lot of people have. It's an old manure spreader.
Yes.
That you guys fill up. How many? Is it a tonnage? Like how do you know how much is it? Do we scrape all the dirt up and put it back on the track and then go and how much?
Then cover it with the wood chips.
And how many loads is that typically? Like if you're going to do it the first of the season, is it 100? Is it
No.
Is it
It's like
50?
24 to 30 loads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The low number.
Yeah. That's how we usually. Well, we put 30 on in the spring. Let's try to do that again. That worked pretty good.
How do you guys get it mixed with the dirt to where it's not just more wood or more dirt?
Is
it with the grader?
Grader.
Yes, we use the scare fire on the grader to rip up the track, and we put the wood on first, then use the scare fire, and it's mixing them in, and then spring tooth, bring it out there, mix it in a little more, grading it back and forth, mixes it a little more.
We noticed that the Boone Speedway is one of the only tracks that uses a spring tooth. A lot of racetracks are using the
lull or whatever.
Leylays. There you go. Yeah. Was this just I feel like this is a rod thing or was it a rod and body thing?
It was a time thing.
My dad explains it really good. Like when Lottie or whoever decided, like, hey, we're going to start farming the track? Because I was there when they didn't farm the track. It gets black slick.
Yes.
How did that come about? I mean, Lottie kind of vaguely talked about it, but, like, were you on board for it, or were you just kind of like,
I was
change?
When he mentioned it, I was like, wow, what an idea. We'll be the only ones.
Right. I mean, because that was why a lot of people came. It was a show. Like we talk about with the Musco Lights and stuff. Like, you guys, you don't just go to the racetrack and, oh, there you go, boys. You know, the race on it. Now, holy shit, we've got 6 tractors out there. We've got a packer out there. We've got the water truck going around that gives the fans a time to go and get a chicken strip or a onion pedal.
Crispito?
Crispito. No, not everybody gets that.
Oh, okay.
Not everybody gets those. Right. Just the grandstands.
We're
We're trying to fix
that. Right. So then where did you come up with, okay, the farm sessions, were they always 15 minutes? Or how did you guys get to the point where you're like, okay, we know it's going to take us this much to do in our program, and why?
I'm sure they were longer because you didn't have the equipment
Yeah,
when we first started out.
Yeah.
So,
Obviously didn't have this much equipment.
Right.
But
Because it took quite a few years
Yes.
to get all that equipment. And now we've seen Lottie's got the big spring tooth that lays down. A million people have asked, why don't you use the wings? Is it just too big, or just the way the shape of the racetrack is that it just won't work? Or
it can't. We've yet for it to lay down flat. It always wants to have the outside up.
The wings right up.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they're not digging, like in a field, the ground, the dirt's soft enough that those wings.
They float?
They float, but then the pressure of the spring tooth, the dirt will hold them down, right, in a way. And this one, it's not.
We're not going that deep.
No, it's not riding on the top, but it's also not going.
Yeah, but I mean, how deep do you think it is? Inch, maybe?
2
inches?
2 or 3.
2 or 3
at
inches?
the most.
Well, Hank would know because he's got to change all the shovels on that.
yeah.
It's a lot of them.
It's a lot of them.
Have you ever messed with anybody when you take the manure spreader out there and tell them you're just putting pig shit on the track?
They did that in Des Moines.
Really?
It was straight out of the horse barns and
I
stuff.
did not know that.
How'd that work? Were you part of that?
No, that different group.
Oh.
I had never really worked Des Moines track. At night when Sarah was scoring.
Right. Another question that I've been asked by a lot of people, you see some of these racetracks plant rye on their racetracks in the fall to go through the winter. Why does Boone Speedway not do that? Is that just is that a rod call? Is that like, hey, like we don't need it because we've got the wood and we've got the nutrient from the wood,
It's never been mentioned, I guess.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
nothing we've never.
Do you think? I mean, I've raced it at Corey's place over in Vinton, and they plant rye on that. Like last year, I think everybody could have said that let's not plant rye on it because it was rougher than a cob. But I mean, it was wild. That's the first time I've ever been into victory lane on the tow truck.
I think we were watching that.
Yeah. A lot of people said they gave it to me. It was not my call, and it was the drivers that made the call. But Corey seems to think, and I mean, I could be completely wrong. This is no bash at Corey, but I mean, does it add nutrients? I mean, is there a science thing to it? Like, and maybe do we see the Boone Speedway do it in the future if it's a thing?
I don't know.
It might be a time thing because, in the spring we take the snow off the track.
Right.
Well, we would grade all that rye off.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus, it would introduce, like, I'm sure I'm going to say this wrong, organic matter into the dirt. I know wood's dead, but when you introduce something that was just live, I wonder if that would change, like, because I guarantee I know how we would hear about it is if we did all that and then come out for the Frostbuster and it's the roughest thing you ever seen.
Yes. Where it made it slick, greasy
Something,
slick.
something different.
Well, and maybe some of these tracks plant that rye and stuff because they don't put wood chips in.
And that
so
could-
that's how they can get their nutrient back into
possibly.
the soil. Yeah, I don't know. I just was. A lot of people have asked me that, and I didn't know that they were even that was even a thing until.
I mean, farmers do it, but I didn't know racetracks did it. But they do it as a cover crop for nutrients, which makes sense because you're going to grow more crops the next year.
Right.
I think
We're
the
not growing anything on the
The
racetrack.
first time I saw it was then they like the dirt track at Charlotte does it.
Yeah.
And it's like, what in the hell is that?
Yeah.
But it was to put the nutrients back into the.
Which we get all kinds of that with the wood chips. I mean, it turns into.
We got all kinds of that this year.
Right. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that. So, my dad calls Rod Vern. That's just, I don't know why.
Forever. Yeah.
Vern? That's my grandpa's name.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
He'll come rolling up on the four-wheeler, and Dad will be like, Vern, what do you think? Rod will, I don't know why. I've never asked, but he kind of puts you into some positions sometimes with his idea. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. We all know how him and Lottie, their relationship is weird. A good weird.
Yeah.
Everybody thought Lottie hated my dad, but secretly they've had this bond for a very, very long time. And so, I, giving my dad shit, I think you should take over the Boone Speedway, Lottie's role, because, he's chewed your ass. He's secretly comes over and hangs out, it'd be a good thing. Oh, bullshit, I'm not doing that. I've seen what's happened to him all these years. And now, though, I kind of see my dad dibbling a little bit in there, getting you the dirt. And sometimes maybe not when Rod wants the dirt, but Rod somehow and the gangs seems to make it happen. Does that
make it work?
We'll make it work. So last year we did 50 loads on the racetrack at the beginning of the year. This year we get the gumbo stuff we talked about down on the river bottom. We bring 100 special 100 loads of dirt. I don't know where my dad gets all these connections, but he basically, we talked about, he kind of snookered old Lottie a little bit this year, I think, and was like, "Yeah, Rod, where do you want this dirt?" Rod's like, "Dump her in the corners or whatever." Yeah.
Don't tell Lottie you got snookers.
You might be okay if you said it was Dad.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. But how did that work this year? I mean, because we were actually doing a podcast when the trucks were coming in the one day.
Yep.
I mean,
That was the second time.
you're right. And I talked a little bit last week about how I drove out onto the racetrack, and I mean, it looks so different already. And I told the boys, I'm like, I don't think they put any wood chips on it yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
Well, I think we were talking about I think he's wanting to freak Moses out a little bit, get the cars a little closer to him coming out of two. Build her up.
I was giving him shit about it earlier. I'm like, hey, bud, I did see what you did to turn two. He goes, we'll see how long it lasts up there. And I'm thinking, that's going to add another 2/10 on the top right
Sure
there.
could. Yep.
I mean, just saying. We got the new backstretch. We got the new wall across there.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know about that, though, all the way. Because cars go off, now they're stuck. And
We've seen Dustin Lynch, Tony Hawk
yeah,
that thing a
yeah,
couple
yeah,
times.
yeah.
I mean, not even intentionally,
Yeah.
but it's kind of a double-edged sword,
Yeah.
really. We've seen
Well,
some
it's
cars.
protecting the catwalk.
It is.
know.
But I mean, if there was a way, between the posts on the catwalk, that a car could fit through, because sometimes a guy, drives off turn one, and now he's
stuck there.
stuck there.
Right.
And whereas before he could just keep on going and go back to his pit.
We can see about taking one of them
Well,
out.
yeah, or something.
Well, I wonder.
a guy that runs the telehandler.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was told to do.
Yeah, I know.
Brett brought that up.
Yeah.
But does it tie into the pit area, or
Yes,
does
it does.
So you could go off the racetrack and go to the pit area, or
It's connected with the work area barrier.
Oh.
All the way around.
okay, so you still, if you want to go to the pit area, you have to go off the off ramp,
Yes.
turn
Yes.
one, and go around in
Yes.
the pit area. Okay. Because I know there's some guys go off there and
Right, that's what I'm saying. And now they can't.
Right.
So
What if one hits that corner of the
I know.
barrier?
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is.
I don't either.
The weird thing is it's you guys have been there longer than I have, and I've seen 3 cars hit the catwalk.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if Dustin Lynch necessarily hit the catwalk, but Dustin, and then remember when Jesse
Yep.
did it, and then Vanderbeek. Those are the only 3 that I know that actually like maybe shook the people on the catwalk, like hit it pretty hard.
Burke's accountant.
Well, yeah.
Burke's accountant.
Blaine.
When Jesse
You got a bandage on that, right?
You know how many times he's going to do that? We're in Florida. Hey, bud. Down he goes. Down goes the Bobcat.
but when Jesse hit the catwalk, he hit it hard.
Yeah.
Harder.
Yeah.
That we talked about. I told him like literally the week before that was when they came out with the rule that you had to weld your seatbelt mounts to the main cage because
Yeah.
his car was in 3. It'd have killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he wouldn't have done that, it would have killed him.
Yeah. Damn.
It's pretty wild.
Last question on track prep. I got to ask this. Do we know how much water we use on the racetrack, weekly versus Super Nationals, hot day versus cold day? There's a million different factors.
Yes, wind, all that. On a weekly show, we'll try to water it Friday nights. Hank and I will, usually 9 or 10 loads, which are 2,500 apiece gallons.
Holy shit!
It's a boatload of water, bud.
But when it's really dry and weather forecast ain't letting up, we'll water Thursday night too. Same way.
So add on, just double it, basically.
Just double it. And during the day on Saturday, our weekly show, I'll probably water it 3 times, 4 loads apiece. And then the farm session, of course, before hot laps. During the Nationals, we'll probably start prep watering the track a week before for the whole week, just adding it and whatnot. During Nationals, during a day show, he's Nathan's watering the roads and everything else. I'm trying to help him water the track.
Plus, he puts
Hey,
about
speak-
2,000 gallons in front of Todd
Yeah.
Schutz's bed.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, hold on a minute here, because there's been so many people that are pissed. Like, there'll be times we go on the racetrack and our car's clean, and we come in the pit area and it's like we just left the super swamps in South Georgia mud bog session. Like,
But it's thin. I mean, it just looks bad.
oh, it's thin. And I really think Nathan actually enjoys spraying the shit out of people with the front wheel sprayer.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
He'll crowd you.
Not,
Oh yeah.
not so much on Monday, but by Friday. Oh, yeah. He don't even know where the on-off switch is.
We got to tell him this year he's got to really layer down in front of the 5 pit. We got to keep them.
No, Dick, that's in front of my pit. During Super Nationals.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I got you on this one, Todd. We don't like the water either.
And then out of left field, I just happened to think of this. Out of the 3 of you, do you know how many hours you put in for the week of Super Nationals?
Oh,
I know. I'm sure
boy.
you got it written down somewhere.
yeah. We figure probably 20, 21 hours a day, because we figure we get maybe 3 hours of sleep, and some nights
That's a lot of hours.
we don't sleep.
That for sure.
Yes, we might.
We'll
Probably,
work all night.
there's definitely an all-nighter at least once,
once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if not twice.
And then in 2020, there was like one
Oh.
night that wasn't an all-nighter.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was punishment for racing during COVID.
COVID. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, okay, in that hole that we were talking about in turn 1, so during Super Nationals, like I talked about it like all summer. You could tell like when it rained, the hole was there. When it was dry, the hole wasn't there. Everybody bitched about that hole during Super Nationals. Well, people, we're working 21 hours a day here.
Yeah.
And not only, Rod's doing the grading, Hank's packing, Sarah's sheep's footing. Like, maybe people should really think about that kind of
What
stuff.
more do you want?
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. We're racing. How many races are a day during a Super Nationals?
Depends. Could be 40. Could be 70.
So how do you manage to do that and then still try to go out there? Because I feel you guys care just as much about the racetrack as we do, if not more.
Yeah.
As far as having that, racetrack ready, prepped for all these people that come from all over the country to race here for that 1 week. And if you can't appreciate that, then I feel like you're a dick.
And I mean, and honestly, our mentality when we as we started this deal, when we started working here 30 some years ago, never had any inclination of where we were going to get to. This was jobs for both of us. We met while we were going to track, and it just kind of developed and grew. And Lottie just kept, we just kept doing more and more, and add on, and kind of moving up, and we enjoyed it. But one thing that we both agreed on that we've always tried to stay true to is we want people that come to Boone to have the best experience they can have, whether it's on a weekly night, whether it's for nationals. It's like these people are spending a week of their vacation, their hard-earned money, to come to Boone Speedway. And the last thing we want to do is have people have a horrible time, whether it's people yelling at them for something. I mean, because things are going to happen. You're going to race, you're going to get tore up, but it's going to compound the problems if you've got people that you don't enjoy yourself, you don't have a good time, you feel like people are, picking on you, you've got to wait in line for 2 hours, you can't have this, it's just, we don't want that. So whatever we have to do to make sure people have a positive experience, we're going to do that.
How do you guys stay positive with all the negative shit about that you see about the racetrack?
Yeah.
What happens at the racetrack? Like this whole, I'm going to go with it right here. I'm gonna, because I did it to Grant, so I got to do it to you too, because I know you were in on this conversation. The Doug Smith, Jake McBurney call.
Oh.
How is that a coin flip thing? Like,
nope.
Same deal though, folks. We just talked about it.
Yeah.
You guys have known Jake and Doug for a very long time.
Absolutely.
It was one of the questions in the question of the week, or one of the things is, how does it, like, there's been times where I've asked Rod, I'm like, how'd Sara come up with this?
Yeah.
Well, he goes, well, you're going to have to ask her. Well, then usually by the next week, I always forget about it. And she's always so nice at the window. I don't ever, but at the heat of the moment, I'd love to come up there and ask you why, what's going on.
And I've had people do that, or it used to be they'd come up, because I when I'm done at night, I go down the payoff windows, and I'm down there, and people used to come up and question, and I don't have a problem with it as long as you ask, ask the question.
I've had great experience. She's very kind.
Yeah. And I mean, I will explain it to the best of my ability. And, and there again, if it comes down to, before the transponders, when it was a judgment call, it was like, it was a judgment call. I understand you're standing in turn 2 or you're standing in turn 3 and this is what you saw, but you weren't at the line.
Right.
But if it's, why did this guy get put in front of me or this, something like that, I'll explain to you how we do it. I mean, it's no secret. There's, no hidden agendas, anything like that. You may not agree with it. You may not understand it. A lot of times it boiled down to the fact that they didn't know where the yellow came out. So they didn't know how we go back and, and how we score that.
That's a big one, because we don't know, I don't let out of the gas. I mean, even when Logan knows, even when they throw the checkered, I'm taking another lap. Right? We've talked about it.
Especially in hot laps.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, I've had that as a driver. Like, you don't know. And then they used to go to the previous lap.
So when the yellow comes out, anybody that has gone through is scored on that lap. Everybody else that hasn't, we go back to the lap before. And I line you up based on how you were running that lap.
Okay, so if 5 cars go by,
those 5
are in that line.
Are in. So they got scored for lap 5. The rest of them are still on lap 4. I line them up based on how they were running in lap 4. The cars in the yellow, they're going to the back. We restart the race. You all are 5 laps down. So nobody lost a lap. You're all the same on the same lap.
Right.
But you guys go back. But the question, so the question runs into, where does the yellow come out? That's where the flagman has to tell me, or I'm watching too, and as soon as I see that, that's where I know, okay, everybody after that car, they didn't come through.
And most of the time when there is a confusion about it, it's always like not always, but most of the time it's coming out of turn 4.
Yep.
When 3 guys take the, go across the line, and this guy didn't get back to the line before the yellow, and that's where. And that any other, most 95% of the time when somebody has a question for me on it, it's like, well, you didn't get back to the line. The yellow came out.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh.
And see, that's one of those rules that every track is different. Every track scores differently.
Yeah.
Just like our one spin, if you're stopped on the yellow. I know guys hate it. I know they don't like it. But you know what? A long time ago, Lottie's like, I don't want people making – you're going to make judgment calls on black flags and things like that. But the more we can eliminate as far as having to make a judgment call and having a hard, fast rule, and you know what? It's the same for everybody.
Right.
Sometimes it helps you. Sometimes it hurts you. But you know what? It does keep guys going. They know they only got one spin in the heat races. Sometimes you get screwed. It happens. But other times, you know what? That guy's going to try to get going rather than just sit there and draw the yellow.
Do you hear that, Jerry? We are trying to start our car and not cause the goddamn yellow. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I know, Rod, I spun out down on 3 and 4, and I mean, I'm on the firewall, turning that thing over, so when it fires up, I'm 8,000. I know the chip rule's only 74, but I'm 8,000 at that point, because now I'm like, shit, I'm a straightaway behind. I got to go. You know, either I get it going or I'm done.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
So then this goes back to that too. How many cars have to pass the line, like if you're in a situation like that, to count the lap?
Only have to have one.
Just one.
Yep.
So like, okay. So,
Which, there again, we try to avoid that if we
Right.
can. You know, Logan and I, we've had that conversation. I said, if it's going to be close, throw it before they get here. So we don't count that lap.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Okay.
especially if it's a good race or we're getting down towards the end. You know, I said, if it's been 20 minutes and we've ran 3 laps, fine. Anytime you can get a car across, you know, and you have to. But we try to, like I said, we're trying to do things for the benefit of the racer as much as we can, because we want them to have a positive experience.
Right.
And like you said,
Popular
belief. Yeah. I mean, and there again, when you go back to McBurney and Doug Smith, you know, I saw it, and then I saw the replay. You can call it either way.
Yep.
You know, and
Do you think the replay is, we've talked about it on the podcast, it gives a different look, don't it?
it gives a different look, and the thing is, you can't replay every call.
Right.
So I don't think it's fair for you to make decisions only based on the replays, because some things you can't replay. So then,
Well, and like I said, us from the backstretch, it looked way different
absolutely.
than the angle that they showed on the replay.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm thinking, so I've been up in the booth with you guys
Yeah.
before. It's a completely different look over there.
Right.
And you wouldn't think that, but it really is. I mean, you've got Jerry's fat head over here, sometimes Ryan, then you got the post in between, you know, that separated that, and they're trying to look, I mean, there's just a lot of working parts going on, so it's like, you know, I kind of asked Grant, I'm like, you know, he's like, oh man, I mean, we all knew that something was going on the secret channel because there was 8 or 9 laps. Rod's running out of places to pack at this point, wondering what's going on. You know, so I had to give you a little bit of shit about it too.
And that, I mean, but that's just it. It was a discussion of what everybody saw.
Right.
And that's a good representation of those judgment calls. If we didn't eliminate them, if we didn't take them down, you would have so many of them. It would be ridiculous.
Just like people, you know, did you cause a yellow or not? And this, and that's like, you know, like I said, I stopped to avoid it. Well, I wasn't in it, but I stopped on the backstretch because of something. Well, you're still slowing up the program.
Yep.
You guys remember 2 years ago when I was at the flag stand giving the big L some sign language
I do remember that.
over a lap or remember that?
Yeah.
It was a little spicy in the 69 car.
I ate a lot of crow that night because after I watched it, I'm like, okay, they were right. They are 97% of the time. I'm taking 3, but I'll give you guys 97.
But I mean, that's what it comes back to. And I think a lot of it comes back to the fact that, you know, when we started out racing, and like I said, Rod was helping Larry on his car, racing all the time. Plus we were working at the track. We got to know a lot of the drivers. Like you guys talk about a million times. After the races, everybody goes down the pits. We stood around, drank beer, watched the sun come up. So you got to know everybody. And so I think from that respect, you know, we showed the drivers respect. They showed us respect.
Absolutely.
And I think they understand that you guys aren't there just to do a job. You're there to make this place as good as it can be.
Well,
and you wouldn't intentionally make a call to screw me.
Right. Well, and if you think that the officials there are trying to screw anybody, especially at Super Nationals, when you guys are out there working your asses off, and that doesn't show some sort of how much you guys care. And this has kind of really opened it up a lot too, I think, for a lot of listeners and watchers. 21 hours a day during the Super Nationals. I mean, I didn't realize. I mean,
8 days in a row.
8 days,
Yeah.
not only, but 8 days in a row. I mean, they're tired of the hot dogs and the chicken strips by the end of the week, I'm sure.
Well,
but
Yeah.
And years ago, our kids were little. We left them.
Yeah.
I mean, we left them for 8 days and had to have babysitters
I
take
always
you know.
wondered what was wrong with Jennifer. He must have figured it out.
Well, and also it's 8 days of racing. It
Yeah.
starts along with, that week you're there every day.
Yeah, right.
Every day.
So
The month. Basically,
Yeah.
the month of August, Rod is there at least every night.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much. I know everybody knows there's so much goes on behind the scenes, but it's impressive, and there's not a lot of people that could pull it off in my mind. That's
No.
why I always laugh when somebody says they should move the Super Nationals somewhere else. Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Well, Rod'd be like, great. Now I
Yeah.
can go get me a
Now
new
I-
camper.
Now we can go there.
Yeah.
He's sitting in the stand drinking beer like, hey, you're doing that wrong. Well, hey, let's go to another quick break, and then we can come in with our Elmquist Towing question of the week, and then we can wrap things up. And,
We got some good ones.
yeah, definitely. So, the question of the week was, something about what – I don't even
If
know.
you could ask one question to
That's
the
what it was.
people who prep the track, score every lap, and keep race night moving, what would it be?
All right. So when we get back, we'll do Elmquist Towing question of the week and wrap things up with these guys. You're watching Watermelons and Woodchips. Next segment is brought to you by Logue Fabrication, your go-to shop for custom metal fabrication. From residential and commercial projects to auto racing applications, Logue Fabrication delivers quality and precision every time. They're not just fabricators, they're racers too. Proud home to Rage Hobby Stock and Stock Carts you see tearing up Boone Speedway every week. Whether you need a custom railing, a commercial build, or race-ready metalwork, trust the team at Logue Fabrication to get it done right. Logue Fabrication, where craftsmanship meets horsepower. We can help you stand out anywhere with P1 Promotions, the home of P1P Canopy. From the racetrack to the ball fields to trade shows and beyond, our custom pop-up canopies are built to showcase your brand in style, with multiple sizes and full customization available. But we don't stop there. P1 Promotions also delivers custom rugs, apparel, sportswear, trade show setups, and even P1P custom awards that make an impact. You can see all we have to offer at www.p1pcanopy.com. Welcome back, race fans. Watermelons and Woodchips presented by Central Iowa Diesel Performance, and we're going to go into our Elmquist Towing question of the week here. And man, we had some good ones there on that deal as always. If you could ask one question to the people who prep the track, score every lap, and keep race night moving, what would it be? And we had a lot of really good questions, and the one that kind of stuck out to me is Jared Bailey said, what is the biggest challenge you face doing your specific job? So Hank, I want to go to you first. Like, what's aside from the Packer falling off, like what, and when we see you every night, like scraping mud off those things to keep the dirt on the racetrack and things like that, like what's the biggest challenge that you face on a weekly show or even Super Nationals?
Keeping the spring tooth going and changing Packer tires and getting ready, and it's a handful.
Well, after the Super Nationals, when he was like, "Hey, we need some of those, the spring tooths and shovels," I didn't realize how much you guys go through.
Tines. Every time you break one, there's $20.
Yep. Yeah. And I figured you were going to say bungee cord and bobcats.
Yeah, that's another question we need to ask. So,
I use a lot of bungee cords, and it's nice to get them back.
Did you get comp for those at least, or at least go throw those on the account? Hank's got a fresh plastic set of bungee cords strapped on those
Ace
things.
Hardware, they order them in bulk for us.
Well, keeping the tractors going, and Joe helps me a lot on that deal because it's a handful down there.
Yep.
And I don't know how many times I saw Joe working on the carburetor of the yellow water truck or something like that.
I'm still on the hunt for one of them, but it isn't going very well. Jerry told me I would never find one, so now that makes me want to find one real bad. Colton Nelson wanted to know why he's always getting yelled at on the receiver. Anybody got an answer for that one?
You know, Jonathan as a race car driver, it's like, stop doing dumb shit, right?
What I don't understand is this isn't even a jab at Colton. Why nobody listens on the receiver? Like, Rod's pissed and he gets the signal from the secret channel. Hey, this guy's not moving up and he's not listening because his arm gesture of open up a hole is violent. Down in turn 3. You know what I mean?
Well, he doesn't have the Buddy Moran rotator cuff deals going on.
Right.
He knows how to get after it, but not go too far.
Right, and you can tell how pissed he is if he has his glasses on. You really got it. You're on his nerves. If you don't have the glasses on, he'll mean mug the shit out of you.
Well, he's tired of me yelling, so that's why he's like, I better take care of this.
Well, Ben Carlson answered Colton and said, because there's a race and you're not in it. So. That was pretty good. And then Dustin Hanson, he wanted to know when the booth was going to start using instant replay before making bad calls. I think we just went over that,
just
didn't
in
we?
here. That son of a bitch didn't even have the balls to ask us while we were sitting
funny
here.
how that
he
works.
was in here.
Keyboard warrior, maybe a little bit. That's all right. That's okay.
He said if Bobcat talks about my hair one more time.
Well, I can show you a Sandlot picture.
Yeah, that was the one that fell off the wall.
It tried to come off the wall last
when
week.
he had hair.
Right.
Yeah.
But the replay deal has been used a little more.
It has, and it's one of those things. If it's beneficial, I think it makes sense. But I don't think we get to the point where we rely on it because, like Sarah said, when you do need to rely on it, that's when they're not going to catch it. And it's not anybody's fault. You just can't catch everything.
Well, to answer that a little bit, and maybe I'm wrong here, but there's one camera on a weekly show.
Right.
And Ian does an awesome
He
job
does.
with that.
He does.
He is phenomenal.
He catches a
with that.
lot of stuff.
At Super Nationals, there's maybe G could answer this, but there's probably 10 cameras going maybe amongst everybody or more.
Yeah, plus like 2 drones.
Yeah.
plus the drones.
So
Yeah.
there's you probably.
But you're still not going to catch
Well,
everything.
Yep,
Right.
you
So
still miss some stuff.
There's just
for
no
sure.
way to catch every little thing.
So do you guys use maybe the instant replay stuff more during nationals just because there is more of that stuff caught? Or
I would
just
assume.
as
I
much?
don't. I mean, that's a Grant question.
I would say that the ability's there.
Yeah.
Whether he does,
Or doesn't, I don't know. But
Right.
Now how that replay deal works is that they are on the secret channel with the video guys. Nate's got his little throttle thing. They go in and if you've never, and maybe IMCA will show that little trailer thing that they have all their cool stuff in. Maybe not. Maybe it's secret stuff. But if you've ever been in there, I mean, there's a lot going on in there. And so them guys are in there rewinding it, sending it back up to the tower, like trying to catch it, get the angles and everything. So I think it's a little more than just rewind, let's see the last 30 seconds type deal.
Right.
yeah.
So,
And there again, you can't hold up the show.
No.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
that's Lottie's number one rule is
Yep.
we keep this thing moving, and
If
we
it's-
have to.
If it's quick and it's the ability's there, I don't see the harm in it because, I mean, let's face it, we all want to get it right.
Right.
I mean, ultimately. But we talk too, there's times there's scoring issues and somebody will bitch about it. Well, they can be sitting 10 rows to the left and that angle ain't going to work. So when we get a message from across the backstretch standing in turn 2 that we got something wrong, 9 times out of 10, no, we did not. And it's more than that. It's 99 times out of 100.
Yeah.
It's you. If you're not directly across from it, you're not going to see it. So,
And there again, you can look at the replay. Flagman is not looking at a replay. He saw it firsthand.
Yep.
So those two guys got two different views.
So when it comes down to that, if the flagman has a disagreement with the people in the booth, who gets the ultimate checkmate? Is that a coin flip or is that
We've never really had that.
No,
issue,
because
don't
I think they've kind of been able to.
Because you guys
come
have,
to an agreement.
You guys have been through quite a few flagmans. We've been through the Big Bill,
Big Bill.
Nick,
Yep.
Grant,
Yeah.
here and there.
Yeah.
Who
Well, Rod
else?
used to flag.
Yep, Rod
Yeah.
was a flag man.
In Marshalltown, Mason City.
Yep.
I got another hat.
Yeah.
I do have
Yeah.
pictures of 1996 Rod in Victory Lane.
Yeah.
Did you pick up some carpal tunnel and put the flags down, or what happened there?
Yeah.
He didn't want anybody to know. He can still do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I just think you guys have got to work with a lot of different people.
Yeah.
You know, didn't Wes White flag in Boone for a couple years?
Well, and Bob Moses flagged down in Des Moines. I worked with him.
Yep.
I mean, and so yeah. I mean, you got to learn how to, work with your flagmen and different things.
Yep. Jim Massey had an interesting one talking about with all the chassis schools. He wonders why somebody doesn't put on a dirt track like prep school.
There you go, Rod. There's your retirement fund right
I can see the Greene County gym right now with a load of dirt on the track or on the floor. It's an interesting thought. I mean, I'm sure somebody could probably benefit from something like that.
Well, here's a good one for Rod, portraying to this question. When did you realize, like, you don't ever take enough credit? You don't ever walk around like, oh yeah, I'm Boone Speedway track doctor, blah blah blah. But when did you figure out, like, okay, we're pretty good at this? And did it take you 10 years to learn that, like after you started farming, or was it just natural to you? Like, where did that come in?
It's still not set in stone. I try to learn something every day.
I respect that, because a lot of people think, oh yeah, well, he's just set in his ways. He's just out there doing this, doing that.
We try something new all the time.
Yeah, if you listen to the radio, it's like, we're going to try
can't.
this or right. No, I know, I'm just saying, like,
okay.
If you could.
yes, if you could.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he says it's sarcasm, but what I hear in his voice is perfection. He's looking for the perfection. He's looking for it to be better. And
Right.
And again, you could listen to, and I don't know if you've listened to yourself talk, but there's times it's like, man, he's madder than hell. No, he's not. He wants it right.
Yeah.
He wants it perfect.
Yep.
And
My boss paid me to make it right.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And at the end of the day, if they can race 3, 4, 5 wide and put on a hell of a show, that's when and that's my feeling. Spend 3, 4, 5 days in a tractor, from one Saturday, say we had a hole one week, we work all week. That next week we come out, that track is nice. The races are awesome. You know what? That's the best feeling in the world.
Well,
to
how
know
many
that,
times too do we look and see the guys that started toward the back? You can see them, like how many cars they passed. And we'll talk about that a lot
arrows,
too.
yeah.
A lot of green arrows and a lot of numbers behind them.
Yeah.
So that tells a lot of story too.
I mean, and you hear the racers when they do their interviews after winning. Oh God, that was such a great race. That was an awesome track. Love being able to pass high or low, or I could go wherever I wanted to go. And that makes you feel good, because you can actually see, hey, what I'm doing out here is actually making a difference to somebody.
Yep.
What do you think when the track is shit? What I mean, are you like, oh man, this is gonna be? I mean, Sarah, do you think, boy, this is gonna be a long drive to Jefferson?
Don't have to mow my spot. It's already packed down.
Right. Well, and that's, we see you guys stand down there in the infield. I mean, I just wondered, because like you said, you care about it just as much or more than what we do,
That's awesome.
I think his, Hank's, and Joe's spots packed down over there, because I've been over there in them areas when it's,
Well,
luckily, I would say we've not ran into an issue where at the end of the night the track's been shit.
Right.
I mean, there's things that happen, but for the most part, it's been, but it's like there's been sometimes, it wasn't that long ago, it seems like, you watered on a Friday night and then it rained, or you had it tore up and it rained like earlier in the week, and we come that next morning and I'm just going, there's no way. And I'll tell you what, by that night we were racing, and it was, it just amazes me, because he just was like, you go do this, run here, do that. I mean, he knows exactly what needs to be done.
Those nights
We got
are usually
Yeah.
Those are some of the best races
Oh,
we have.
absolutely.
When we all look at each other and go, we're not racing.
But if you'd come and look at that track, it's like, there's no way.
You've sent us pictures.
I know.
Well, there was one of the Saturday mornings. It might have been, I don't know if it was the day we were putting bikes together in there or what.
When it's underwater.
Yeah. Rod and I go to the top, and he's like, that's the most water I've ever seen in the infield of this place. And he's been there for 37 years. So.
Yep. Seth, I think G's batteries are getting a little worn, so I want to make sure we get in Seth Butler's. The hole in turn one didn't materialize until they hired Jacob Fester. And then he said, why did the dirt doctor hire him? And I believe it was Cody that typed out, we're all asking that question.
Oh, I love Fester. I worked with him over at Powerlift for a couple of years, and he's good people. But he's easy to throw a jab at everyone.
Yeah.
I do.
He doesn't help himself very much.
No, right? Hunter Palmer also asked, and this is one for all three of you. I think this is important to get in. Is what your favorite memory is from racing, but from Boone Speedway.
Sarah's Rolodex is just going.
Wow.
There's a lot.
There is. I mean, it is. There is a lot. It is really hard to come up with one.
Hank, you got anything off the top of your head?
I can't think of anything.
They're all that good, right?
They're good.
Yeah.
They are good.
How
Just about every week you find a really good one.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen a lot of first-time winners. You've seen a lot of like the Super Nationals wins, and those are super
I mean,
special.
Larry winning Super Nationals that year was one.
Sure.
I think that really kind of sticks in our mind just because of the fact that we were on both sides of the fence with that one.
Part in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and to be a part of a program and to win the biggest race in our sanctioning body, like it's giving me chills right now just talking about it, because it's like, how many people are watching, what kind of efforts have gone into getting to that point, and then to be a part of that program is such a special thing.
Yeah.
It's I'm glad you said that, Sarah, because that's a very special moment.
It is. I mean, like I said, Rod, you've gone through the racing and the shows and the specials, and for anybody to win it special, but to have somebody like that win it, and you're not down there helping, but you're watching it. I mean, it just really.
Well, it's your guy.
Yeah,
I mean, and let's just
is.
face it. We all have people that we know. We've been in this so long. You have somebody, when they win, it's going to be more special to you, period.
Right.
Well, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for those people.
Right. Absolutely.
We wouldn't be doing this if there was.
100%. Yeah.
And I think the fact, too, of just watching nationals. I mean, when we first started, it was, 2 days a week? Wednesdays? Thursday?
It was
3 days?
3.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or something. I mean, and look to what it's grown now. Yep. And how many classes and how many cars and how many people. And I mean, and just to say over the course of the year, we've had a hand in all of this, some little part, and look at what's grown
It's been a big part.
Oh, wow.
You guys have played a huge part in this thing. And it's, I mean, I know I'm not the only one that thinks this, but to watch you guys do what you do, and you don't, it's second nature. I've watched you score a race and take a phone call and answer a question across the thing. Nothing ever stops. I've seen you farm that track and make the calls and tell people, like you said, point, and it just happens. I've watched you put a race car together that shouldn't have even continued.
Which, hey, we're all pissed sometimes. Bungee that guy's shit
right?
up.
Trying to help everybody out.
And he does. And to see it happen, to be privileged enough to see it happen is, I just want you all three to know, what it means to me to be part of that and to see it, and it's pretty special.
Well, there's some things you can't fix on the track, and then if we can't fix it with a bungee cord, you're going to have to go to the work area.
Yep, that's part of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other tracks you just have to leave.
Yeah.
You're just done.
Yep.
So
I will tell you, though, that those beers down in turn 3 and 4 on Saturday night after Super Nationals are some of the best ones.
I have got to take part in that.
Yes.
I do.
It is the best part of the year.
It is.
And we're just
It's just like Christmas.
Right. And Rod and Sarah, they got their eyes barely open, but man, we got those beers cracked.
Yep.
And then my wife's calling me going, hey, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. You should probably go home.
How many days do you guys sleep after Super Nationals?
They're back at the track.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
They're back at the
By
track.
the time we load up and go home Sunday, we're back to work on Monday.
Yep.
Savage.
Yep. There was a little Mod Light shot too, by the way. You want to handle that?
Was it Ben? Oh yeah.
Well, it was a little bit of all of them.
Oh yeah, it's the whole clan. Who makes a call not to give the Mod Lights a prep track for the big dance? How much do I have to pay to make it happen? Well, that's up to Rod. And then Austin Gray says, what's it say? The class doesn't put big dance, but put a fresh farm. Oh, yeah, they're just bitching. And then Zeem says, talk like that, we'll run last weekly. So.
Which we can make that happen.
Yeah.
We could talk.
So it sounds like the Mod Light guys are bitching about being the first ones on the track. So
You'd gladly take their place.
yeah, oh yeah, well yeah, I mean,
Best track of the night.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and maybe that's something we'll see in 2026, Austin and Brian Zeem, that maybe you guys will get that. I wouldn't say worn out, but used up racetrack used up is a. I mean, is that appropriate? I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying, like,
There's a lot of tires on it.
There's a lot of tires on it by
It's
then.
different by the time the end of the race comes around.
But the Mod Lights, you guys are bitching. You guys have the best tire out there.
And they have a little aerodynamic help. I mean, their shit should stick to the track.
Right. So maybe, boy, wouldn't it be cool to see the modifieds out there on a fresh farm? How many of them guys bitch?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you what I've thought about pitching is a rotation.
Rotate.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Every single week, you would know if we race 15 nights, you're going to race here in the schedule that night.
Well, so
it just shifts like a cog.
I pitched an idea to Lottie, and he was on board for it. And then, like, last minute, he's like, no, we better not do that, was to have a random draw every night or have, like, a wheel. I was like, we could have a spin wheel.
Oh, boy.
At the driver's meeting.
Boy.
And, like, he was all about it. And then he's like, no, we're not changing anything. So
I like the more of the rotation, so then they know.
It's like a cog. It
Yeah.
just turns every week.
Yeah.
And, well, we can just make the decision right here and now. Should we do it?
I feel like you're missing a few votes.
there's
Kinda.
there's one big one.
Yeah.
But I tell
Maybe
you,
two.
I've made some strides with him. We've had some things that I didn't think he was ever going to say even close to yes about, and he did. So maybe.
I hope Kathy is listening, because I think that's one of the votes we're missing.
Okay.
But Lottie, I mean, I feel like you guys could probably say this. He's getting a little soft.
Hey, I can tell you this much.
Don't you think?
I can tell you this much. On that side of the table, if they say we should do this, it usually happens.
Okay, guys.
Just saying.
We
Just saying.
were at the meeting when they decided to to go too wide on a restart. Lottie looked at me and he says, "What do you think?" And I says, "Why not?"
There you go.
We did it the next week.
Rod, we are really counting on you.
So you hear that, Mod Lights? You're going to start out the year the first race of the night, and then you're either going dead last or second. One of the two. We'll figure it out.
They
We'll
might have
figure
just
it out.
started something they didn't want to.
Could have.
Right,
Could have.
right.
We'll see.
Well, no, go ahead.
I was just going to say thanks again for coming on, you guys.
Yes.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it.
Yep.
It's fun working with you guys. Like I said, I've learned a ton. It's good being around you. I think I've heard Rod talk more in the last year than I. The first year I worked there, I didn't think he talked. I did not know. But no, it's pretty special seeing you guys work, and look forward to a lot more of it.
Yeah, it's been definitely fun, and I'd been around this 9 years doing this stuff, and it took Rod about seven.
6,
to,
7?
Yeah, right. So, but no, it's phenomenal. We learn something new every night, right? Obviously, you guys have loads of experience, so there's always something new to learn from each and every one of you guys, and we don't take that for granted. You know what I mean? And he was on a race car driver side, I'm sure too. And hearing some of the stories now, it's
absolutely. That's like I said. I mean, it may seem like I'm referring to Brad's comment here about me bitching and this and that, and I don't feel like I've ever bitched directly at any of you, and at heat of the moment stuff, and the respect that I usually come back dragging my tail, like, hey, sorry, Hank, really, he's like, God damn it, you're better than that, and I'm like, I know, but I'm fucking pissed, and then he's like, well, don't do that, So I respect it, because it really kind of opened my eye. I've seen it my whole life, how you guys have been involved with the racetrack and what you do. And I always try to throw out there, hats off to everyone involved with the Boone Speedway, because people really do take for granted what happens behind the scenes. And it's not just these guys. It's the concession stand people. It's the everything. And I definitely think that it goes unnoticed a lot because of social media and how you guys handle that each week and come back and keep doing what you're doing is very, very impressive. And but I mean, we're on 37 years here, 25 or 7 for Hank. When I mean, I don't mean to bring up a touchy subject, but are you guys not going to retire for? I got about another 10 years racing, so I'm hoping you guys are still going to be around, or is it going to be close? I mean, is it getting close to that time? Rod.
You might be close on 10.
Yeah.
Good to know. Good to know. We got another 10 years, folks. So that means greater lessons and spring tooth lessons won't be happening in 2026 for Bobcat. But someday I want to learn the handle on that crane or that grader you run every week, Rod.
Jennifer's got to get to college. I mean, so
Yeah.
they got a little bit more time. So, and then she's going to jump in probably at some point. I mean, she's already.
Yeah.
She's got her feet wet, signing in drivers.
Yeah.
She's going to do that basically the whole year.
And there again, our kids grew up here. I mean, we were here long before it was part of the deal. Racing's in their blood.
That's one of my favorite parts of it. Almost every Saturday night, Jared will come in and sit down, and we'll talk about NASCAR and we'll talk about racing. But you roll out on the track, bud. He's got a soft spot for the old Bobcat.
Yeah, he does.
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
All right,
And he gets pissed when you don't win.
Yeah.
So do I. Believe me.
That's great. Well, hey, on that note, we can start to wrap things up. We want to thank everybody for continuing to support the show, watch, subscribe, all the things. Central Iowa Diesel Performance and Performance Bodies, Elmquist Towing, Adobe Lounge, everybody that's helped us out to this point. We do thank and appreciate you guys because it keeps us going, and we get to talk to Rod, Sarah, and Hank. And
That's right.
And Peyton Taylor next week. So
I tell you, I'm looking forward to that, Jonathan. We're going to be on a beach.
you guys.
I'm not going to be on a beach, but I'm going to be in shade.
Hey, no, we can sit on the beach. I'll hold the umbrella. I'll get you some shade. Well, it'll be fun. We'll sit there and watch the kids play.
They're going to be like, why does that guy have one glove on?
It's going to be Michael Jackson all over again on the beach down there with the glove. I
think you're a little darker than Michael was there at the end, so you're
not wrong.
No, I'm looking forward to get down there. That's going to be a special show, so we're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. So we'll get Peyton and those guys. These guys will have a tan, and me and G will be up here hanging out. So
hell yeah.
But no, we want to thank you guys again. Like I said, we'll wrap things up, and we appreciate it. So you've been watching Watermelons and Woodchips. We'll see you guys next week.